You know who actually dominates the city meta? Dr. Mo Productions subscribers. That's right. You guessed it right. Good job. That's why you're subscribed to my channel right now. Good stuff.
One of the newest biome types introduced to the game is the city biome. This is a completely unique biome type that's almost entirely constructed by human players. However, this video isn't about those human players, nor is it about the players they deliberately add to their party, like cats and dogs. The most important objective when playing in a city biome is avoiding direct contact with humans. While there are ways to defeat humans, doing battle with them on their home turf.
Bro, imagine being that human though. What the hell?
The most important objective when playing in a city biome is avoiding direct contact.
Did you see that? That little stutter step he did? Look at that stutter step.
The most important objective when playing in a city biome is avoiding direct contact with humans. While there are ways to defeat humans, doing battle with them on their home turf is nearly impossible. And so builds that easily get in a human's way, attract a lot of attention, or come off as intimidating to humans are going to be at the highest risk of doing that. So what types of builds? While tanks tend to be the most outright builds in a given server, the city biome does not favor slow-moving herbivores that require huge amounts of food and have to spend most of the day grazing. In addition to attracting a ton of attention, the city meta is fast-moving and full of unorthodox barriers that slow, large, defense-based builds.
Oh my god!
Meta is fast-moving and full of unorthodox barriers that slow, large, defense-based builds have trouble overcoming.
Imagine that. Oh my god. Ouch. That's defense. Nice. Nice. They actually unironically do that pun in like NBA games, by the way. There's like a mascot holding up a huge letter D and a huge fence. Defense, you know?
Cities are tightly packed because the potential loot is so good. If all that you're after is the XP-rich food, great. But if you're after the territory itself, few challenges are more difficult or deadly than trying to conquer a human player's territory.
Is that bear okay?
So what does work in cities? Probably the most common trait among successful city builds is omnivory.
City vulture?
That's because omnivory is key to making sure the supremely valuable loot available in cities is something your character can actually make use of.
You can eat the pepperoni and you can eat the crust.
This isn't to say that you can't succeed as a pure carnivore. Obviously, the crowded nature of cities means there's a lot of potential PvP targets.
Do seagulls actually eat other birds? What? Really? What?
There's no question that the scavenger strategy is more effective in cities than in any other biome.
Do animals do that to any other animal? Or do monkeys do that to any other animal? Do they just go up and take their food? Like a huge animal, like 10 times your size, they just go up and take it? I don't know. Is my mic mireless? I mire it all the time. It has a wire though. I've actually had the wire come out and nobody was watching at the time, so I just streamed for like hours without knowing that this actually came out a bit. Whoops. Feels bad, man. So I always check it now.
Location of primary target unknown. Team chasing several leads.
Hi! Yes! I'm back! 3 hours! 3! I've streamed for 3 hours. Why did nobody tell me that I was muted? 3 hours! Alright. We had our... Have I heard of a Bluetooth water hose? No hose needed. When I read it out loud, that made me think of something else. No hose needed. They're never needed. You absolutely love animals? Really? I don't know if any of you have heard of this story before. So I'm sitting here, right? Just minding my own business on my PC. And the balcony door is like, wide open right there. Alright? And then some bird comes flying through my door, and then it sees me, and then in the middle of the room, swerves to the left, And then there are these small windows. Like I'm in the attic. Think of an attic window. So obviously it tries to get out from there, and it can't. And bang! It hits the window. And then it's like under my bed. So and when it saw me, it started flapping and going around. I'm like, okay, chill. All right, I'll just sit here, let it recuperate. All right. Next time I checked, it was like just sitting there, and it was fine. We made eye contact, and then it flew again. And guess what? It didn't go through the open balcony door. It went to the other small window on the opposite side. Bang! Hit its head again. And then guess what happened? It got brain damage. It wasn't moving. It fell to the ground and it got stuck there. Let me show you some photos. It's such a nice bird as well. It's called a bird eater, apparently. Sprawled out on my floor. That's why I love animals. It makes me feel smarter. So anyway, I threw a shirt on it, picked it up. Turns out it wasn't going to fly away anyway because it's brain damaged. And I put it on the chairs over there. And it did have brain damage. It was just like opening and closing its mouth, not moving. I could like pet it and whatnot. This is the bird eater. I mean, the bee eater doesn't eat birds. Is it focused? There it is. It's such a nice bird too. A couple hours later, it just stood there quietly. It didn't eat anything, didn't drink anything, just stood there for a while. And then a couple of its friends started flying around and chirping. And then it answered. And then one last time for good measure, it hit its head on a window, but nothing happened that time, and then it flew away. So yeah, definitely makes you feel smarter. Guess they were migrating. Anyway, how about the vid? Exactly what I was thinking.
Don't spec into a high top speed if it means giving up the ability to climb, high jump, crawl, or swim.
So the ability to climb is not compromised in crocodiles or caimans or alligators or whatever that was? That is unexpected.
Because cities will test your ability to do all of these frequently.
Whoa!
Perhaps one of the most powerful city
one.
abilities is flight, because it not only lets you bypass just about any obstacle, but also is by far the
See, that's a crow, and is this a raven?
to do all of these frequently.
That's so good.
Perhaps one of the
This is also a crow, right? These all black crows are so much cooler.
most powerful city abilities is flight, because it not
Then these trash half gray, half not even shiny black crows. Ew. And why is the crow scared of the pigeons? Hey, I wonder what happens if it. What if I do this? Not hearing any music right now. Oh, so good. It works. It works so well. It's just very uncomfortable headphones.
Alright, so let's get into the tier list for the city meta. In F tier, we have the Deer Guild, which includes the classic deer build along with its variants like the elk and moose. These builds lack nearly all of the most important traits for a city build. They don't have a high intelligence stat, they can't climb or crawl, and they aren't omnivorous.
Oh, no!
However,
No! It didn't actually break the neck, right?
high intelligence stat, they can't climb or crawl, and they aren't omnivorous.
Oh my god. Ouch. Don't LMAO.
However, deer player
Did you see the recovery? It was just standing on its neck and then it tried to throw itself up and correct itself. Ouch.
stat, they can't climb or crawl.
Look at this, look at this.
Omnivorous. However,
It tries to do the flip on its neck. Parkour.
However, they struggle to
Neck
survive
parkour.
further in because of one of the main obstacles, roads. Because they have
The car didn't hit the deer hit the car.
no the main obstacles, roads.
Or did it? I don't know. I can't see it.
However, even at the edge of cities, when things get crowded, deer don't do well, developing chronic wasting disease, although this is mostly due to a random bug in the deer.
Prion accumulation occurs here. Accumulation here can erode the immune system and the ability to fight against CWD, chronic wasting disorder. Interesting. So basically, like small protein bits accumulate, and then when there's too much, the spleen doesn't work properly.
Which I hope gets patched out soon.
Patched out. Misfolded proteins called prions cause chronic wasting disease, a killer of deer and elk. What is it called? The crazy cow thingy? Bovine spongiform mad cow disease. There we go. That's what prions do. Here in humans, the spleen is over here, on your left side, like behind your stomach, kind of, on to the left, and your liver is right here. On the right.
Like the pigeon, which is on the low end of average in terms of the bird's stats. Still, being below average intelligence for a bird still puts you well above the average overall.
Really?
And pigeons are great at making use
Why do we say bird brain though? If they're all so smart.
of it, mostly for superior aerial navigation and for recognizing the human mains that tend to host drop parties most frequently. While their street smarts are solid, their combat potential leaves a lot to be desired. Pigeons get bodied by basically every other build in the city meta, and for that, they're stuck in D tier. The next build on the list is another bird, one that's opted for a tank-type build, the goose.
Right.
Now, I've actually got a full video dedicated to geese, so I won't spend too much time discussing them here. But geese are actually one of the few builds.
Alright, next stream, after we play Untitled Goose Game, we're going to watch our geese OP. He took that right under his wing. Even Master Splinter needs a master.
With the introduction of city parks, geese have risen to prominence more so than ever before. With that said, as intimidating as they can be, they're easily defeated as long as your build can resist their intimidation abilities. They pose no real threat and don't really compete for the best loot either, and for that reason they're also in D tier. In C tier we have a build that's
Nice. That's what I'm saying. Why are they so scary and why aren't they scared of us? So dumb. Get necked.
Next we have the gull, a build very similar in playstyle to the pigeon, but with a bit of added bulk, enabling it to survive attacks that would mean game over for players in the lower weight class. Although they're excellent scavengers, because this build was initially developed by carnivore players, its combat abilities are strong enough to enable it to take down other players if need be.
So they would eat other birds, I guess, if they could do that. What the hell? Deep throats? Ugh.
This build does best in coastal cities, but really is solid in just about any city and ranks at high C tier. In B tier, we have the feral.
That was my experience.
Last in B tier, we have the squirrel. Squirrels have the highest arboreal mobility of any build in the game, and this mobility translates quite well to traversing buildings and power lines in the city biome. While they aren't tanks by any means, their thick fur does mean they can survive more damage than your average rodent build. Generally, they don't need to worry about this though, as their agility should be more than enough to allow them to escape most dangerous situations. And enough to—
Is that normal speed? That was so cool.
Generally, they don't need to worry about this though, as their agility should be more than enough to allow them to escape most dangerous situations.
Oh my god! Again, I'm gonna say this again. Squirrel basketball would be amazing. Look at that speed change. I guess cat basketball too, but I feel like squirrels are much more athletic. What the hell? Hey, ALO is back. ALO. Master Chief. Not Master Chief. No. I was about to take off the M in Master Chief. Like you take out the H in Halo. Yeah, alright. So the speed changes. Squirrel football would work too. Imagine the crossovers. Oh my god. Steel 467. Welcome, friend. Thanks for the follow.
First in A tier, we have the raccoon. I see the raccoon build as sort of a direct upgrade to the coyote, at least in terms of its viability in the city biome.
Bams.
It boasts similar DPS and intelligence, but is also omnivorous, has much better climbing ability.
In one of our houses growing up, we had like a forest behind our house, and there were a lot of raccoons. And one time, one of them got into our house, and almost, like, my little sister was like, I don't know, a year old. My mom came into the room, and there was a raccoon here, and my sister here. I don't know if they would eat her, or take her away, or whatever, but I don't know, that was kind of scary. Make myself do karaoke? Okay. Fine. Karaoke time! I bless the praise, da da da!
Monkeys are one of the few builds with an intelligence level high enough to directly interact with humans. Whether that be stealing from them, trading with them, or even just generally socializing with them. The monkey's main weaknesses, which are their low defenses and high food count.
Wow! What the hell was that?
Socializing with them. The monkey's main weaknesses,
is that a cougar?
Which are their low defenses and high food cost.
I never thought something that big could do that on a tree. Nice beard, thanks. You're gonna guess I'm 6'1"? I wish. Oh no, the fish! Ha, we rhymed together. Welcome, friend. Thanks for the follow. I'm 5'11", by the way.
Paramount. In top tier, we have two builds which really have total command of cities, as well as nigh untouchability from the hazards common in cities. The first is the corvid build, including crows, ravens, and magpies. These builds, which are tied with parrots for the highest—
That actually makes sense. Good stuff. We have a lot of magpies here, by the way, and crows. We feed them as well, a little bit, sometimes. It's pretty fun how they take turns. The crow goes in first, and then the magpie gets to eat. It's pretty cool.
Intelligence level of any bird in the game are masters of the city meta. Similar to monkeys, their main weaknesses of low base stats other than intelligence and mobility are less of an issue in the city. In fact, corvids play very similar to monkeys.
Why do you want to kill the pigeon?
In basically every way except that corvids have the flight ability. They too can
take that, a taste of your own medicine, monkeys.
Interface with humans with ease. But unlike monkeys, corvids don't have to worry about...
I want to train our crows to do that. That's so cool.
In fact, corvids use these to their advantage. Roads in particular can be used to access loot that would be otherwise inaccessible to a build with such a low power stat.
Really? I've never seen them do that. I've seen them go up to like wires, and then they throw down the walnuts, and then the walnut breaks. They throw it down a couple times. They go up, get it, go up, get it. You know? Never seen them use the car like that.
Whether that be loot from tough tree nuts, or from players who didn't have the skills necessary to traverse those deadly roads. This was probably fairly predictable, but there's no question that the best city build in the game is the rat. While they don't have the
What about humans?
The rat's powerful incisor teeth give them the ability to forge their own...
You never put the disclaimer or the qualifier that humans weren't allowed.
...paths through cities, being able to gnaw through pipes and even concrete. Their extremely quick spawn rates ensure that, once established, a rat player base will be able to leech off of human loot for as long as there's loot available. They're also excellent swimmers and take very little fall damage, so in a lot of ways, rats are even better suited to cities than humans are themselves.
How long can it hold its breath?
Intelligence really is everything when it comes to the city meta. Far more important than stats that are normally must-haves, like power and HP.
More TierZoo, I want more TierZoo. Click, 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 click for TierZoo.